I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. And today we're going to go back a little bit from some of the talks that we've had in the past, because I think it's important to remind us the formula for freedom. There is a formula. And so, we talk about it on this podcast quite a bit, but, I don't think we could ever talk about it too much or enough. And that is, the whole goal is to have your passive income greater than your expenses. Now, the key is, number one, you need to know what your expenses are, what the number is. But then number two is, you need to start actively working on passive income. Right. And there's lots of different forms of passive income. I'm not going to go through all of that on this episode, whether it's, network marketing, affiliate marketing, of course, you could do real estate, you could do dividend stocks. I mean, there's so many different ways to gain passive income. But the key is, you've got to start building on it. You got to start working on it. And it's got to be an obsession. It's got to be something that you are striving for on a every single day basis. It's almost got to be like, those meters you see where people are trying to raise money and you see they're calculating how much more they need to hit the goal. That's how you have to see it. Is like, I'm close to my freedom date. You should even have what I call a freedom date, right? Where it's like, you have a targeted day of when you plan on being free, when you plan on it. And by the way, I don't have all the information today, but I was just doing a little bit of research and study on how, the whole 8-hour workday even came to be about. I was reading that it started in, it came to be a law in 1867 out of Illinois. And I'm not going to go through all of that, but I do want to say this. um, you know, Most people get their job done in 2 to 3 hours, but yet they are at the job for 8 hours, and that's not including the travel to and back, and then in the morning time, the preparation. I mean, it's a whole day that is gone. Whereas there's a better way. There's a better way. There's a way where you can be working for yourself. There's a way where you can be designing your life instead of kind of falling into just how it comes up. And once you have this knowledge, it's up to you to start applying it. It's up to you to start seeking out all the different forms of passive income that you could possibly gain. And there are some forms of passive income you can get without having to have a whole lot of money. There's lots of different ways. So, I mean, that was my story. I was a broke college student, and I didn't have really any money, really. But started a business in college, as you know my story, and was able to build something over time. So there's lots of different ways, whether you have money and you just throw it into some investments, or you don't have money and you end up using your time so that you can build things that you end up learning new skills and learning strategies. But you got to be in pursuit, right? You got to be in pursuit on a regular basis, and you got to know what the number is that you're looking to hit, so that you can be working on these passive forms of income on a regular basis. And I suggest you start with one thing and just have absolute focus, but then of course you can branch out and you definitely want to have multiple streams of income. But I think some people get that whole idea and that whole concept wrong a lot of times because we set out to have passive income. We set up to have multiple streams of income right out the gate, not realizing that we haven't even built the foundation for one of those vehicles. So then we end up having multiple trickles of income instead of multiple streams of income. You make a little bit of money with this, a little bit of money with that, a little bit of money with this, but none of it is enough to get you where you need to be to have your passive income greater than your expenses. So dive in on one thing, whether it's real estate, whether it's business, whether it's investing in stocks and things of that nature, stock options and buying dividends and whatever it is that you decide to do. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that you can do. And my goal is I'm going to continue to bring different people on the show that can highlight and show you the power of these different forms of income. So I just want to make sure you know that. But I just want to remind us all that the reason why we even have this podcast is that we want you to be free. We want you to be free to, I heard one guy say that he has a new why, and his why is this. I guess there's a cruise line that goes around the world. So it's like a 365 days cruise line where it's going to go everywhere in the world. And I thought, wow, that's powerful. That's interesting. Um, you know, but again, you get to design your life how you want it to be. So maybe that's not something that's of interest to you, but I'm sure there's a life that you would love to have. And here's what I would suggest, almost like a homework assignment, is I want you to just grab a piece of paper and write out what you want your life to actually look like. Like I want you to have a clear picture of what you want your life to look like in the next 5 years, 10 years. For me, the big number for me is 10 years. Why? Because at that point, I'll be 50, and it's so crazy to even think about it. But it's going to happen. I mean, God willing, right? It's going to happen. So why not plan for it? Why not prepare for it? Why not put all the things in place that you need to so that when you get there, you can be in the place that you want to be, if that makes sense. And so maybe it's not 10 years for you, maybe it's 5 years, I don't know. But my point is that you plan, that you prepare, that you obsess over it, that you work towards it on an everyday basis, and you seek out other people who are experts in those areas, and you have great associations, and you have great mentors and coaches, and you constantly learn and get knowledge and then understanding, and then you apply those things that you're getting, but you go after it with everything you have because you owe it to yourself to be free, and you owe it to your family to be free, to be able to spend the time that you deserve with your family, and to be able to really have impact not just on their family but the community and society as a whole. I mean, just imagine if more people were free, what they could do for society. But instead, most people are distracted at a job for 8 hours. Now, don't get me wrong. If you love your job, hey, we're not here to jump on you for loving what you do. That's perfectly fine. Let's just keep it real. There are going to be a lot of people who need to have a job, right? Why? Because if they don't have jobs, then who else is going to service your vehicle or help you at the doctor's office or cut your hair or whatever, right? So we need certain people in place, but just understand that you get a chance to make that shift so that you can be the minority, that you could be in the group that gets to rather than that has to. Oh man, you don't want to be in the group that has to. You want to be in the group that gets to. And it's all up to you. It's all your decision. It's all your choice. So I hope you guys got some value from this episode. And listen, I want to hear about the passive income stream that you're building to start off with in our Code Freedom Facebook group. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what you're working on. And I would love to maybe even have you on the show or just shout you out on the show so that other people can hear what others are doing to build that life of freedom. So, God bless you guys. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.